What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today is going to be the first episode of my podcast, Little D Big Opinions. My name is Daniel. I will be your host, and this is going to be awesome. I've never done one before, but I really don't want to yap about, oh, this is going to be a great journey. This is going to be awesome. I hope you guys enjoy this because a lot of you probably won't. It's going to suck the first few episodes, but you know what? We're going to thug it out, and you are too. So, for those of you who might listen to this podcast, thank you for any support that I get. This is going to be uploaded onto YouTube. I just figured out how to get all of that set up, and for some reason I was using GarageBand to record most of the audio, but GarageBand decided to be a little butthole, and now I can't hear anything. So voice memos is the go, but I am using my microphone. I got a microphone specifically to do podcasts, so hopefully you guys can hear it. I hope voice memos doesn't cut out while I'm trying to talk or say you're on a time limit. So I hope that doesn't happen. So I'm going to try and make this 15 minutes to 20. I also was just able to get some eligibility thing on YouTube so I can post videos that are longer than 15 minutes. It was a pain in the absolute rear just to try upload stuff there that was longer than 15 minutes. So if this doesn't happen, this is great. That's great. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be first time doing a podcast. Just beware, it's going to suck. But eventually I'm going to master this completely. It's going to be awesome. I will say this. At first, the idea of having a podcast, I knew it wasn't going to be completely easy, but I didn't understand how hard it was to talk in front of a computer screen until I really tried to do it for the past 4 days. 4 days, almost maybe 5. Just 5 days straight. Let's just put it there. Countless hours just sitting in front of this microphone and 2 monitors, just deleting and re-recording episodes, and sometimes I could go 20 minutes and then it'd absolutely screw up. I'd butcher something, and there's going to be some butchery of words and a lot of stuttering, maybe even loss of thought. So there's going to be some quiet game going on, but hopefully that doesn't happen too much. One thing I do like about voice memos is it actually tells me the minutes. On GarageBand, it just told me seconds, and I'd have to go on Google and say, how many minutes is 400 seconds? So good thing I have an actual timer for minutes going on, because I'm too stupid to count that high, which is convenient with voice memos. I just hope it doesn't give me some sort of time limit, like I said. So we're going to get into the main chunk. I didn't want to make this some episode that just goes on about, who I am, what this is going to be about. Obviously, you're going to find that out soon. Especially through the name of the podcast itself. It's quite self-explanatory. Little D, Big Opinions. As ironic as that sounds, it wasn't just some name I came up with. My nickname, believe it or not, has been Little D. It's been a family nickname, especially among friends as well. Little D has been my nickname since I was 7 years old, so that stuck with me. So that was already a great nickname. And then I do have big opinions, so you have to put 1 and 2 together, and it just makes an absolute awesome name for a podcast. So that was clever. I got some help from friends to figure that out. So it was a weeks long process. Initially, I was gonna call it The Sound of My Own Voice, but that was just stupid. I don't know why I thought of that. It was just something I jotted down on some notes, but that's not happening. Second was going to be a Little D Talks. It sounds like Little D Talks as if I'm talking, and then it also sounds like I'm saying Little Detox as if you're taking a little detox from something. Now, that was also kind of corny, so Little D Big Opinions was the winner by split decision. I mean, it was just kind of, I had to go with it. It was the one that surpassed all of those. It's, in my opinion, above subpar for podcast names. And so, really, this is going to be a sports and politics podcast. I will talk about a lot of funny things, or at least try to. For example, WNBA players suck. They should get paid less. It's one of my opinions. I'll talk about that in maybe a future episode. Hopefully for those of you who know, there's scandal going on, at least in the making. Scandal in the making between Trump and Bill Clinton. You have that going on. And that's honestly probably one of the funniest things that I've heard within the past 2 weeks. I kind of hopped on that train a little early. I believe I heard about the Bill Clinton-Trump situation last week, but I didn't really dive into it until this week. I've been hearing about it a lot more. and it's all over social media. There's like no hiding it. Third, I'm also, as a Georgia native, for those of you who live in North Georgia, I believe there's a huge controversy going around about Gainesville's new region. And I will be honest, it is probably one of the stupidest things I've seen yet. I absolutely hate it. I want to try to pull up something recently that I had. I don't know if I can find it. But Gainesville's new region is the stupidest thing I've seen. I don't know who's in charge of making regions for GHSA sports or athletics, but they need to be fired. Fired, fired, if that's how you spell it. I've never been good at spelling bees, but I'm sure that's how you spell it. Fired. They suck. Whoever it is, they suck. Find a new job, please. And for those of you who know, but for those of you who don't, I will explain in just a short period of time, or might as well just say it now. So Gainesville is a powerhouse. They're a city school. They have a lot of funding. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of athletes. Their football team's very dominant. They're Mill Creek level. I wouldn't say Buford level. They're definitely not like Milton, Walton, but they could definitely compete with schools like Mill Creek. Now, I will say this. For the region they're in, it's stupid. And I say this because they have to play teams. They're in Region 8 6A. So that means they have to play teams such as Walnut Grove, Appalachia. I believe it can't be 6A, is it? I got to find out. I can find out in just a second. But I know they're in Region 8, and they have to play Appalachia, Jackson County. So it might be 6A, because Jackson County is a huge high school. So it might be 6A, Region 8. So they're playing Appalachia, Jackson County, Cedar Shoals, Walnut Grove, Habersham Central, and I believe that's it. I believe that is it for that region. If you don't know what those teams are, who those teams are, they are cupcake teams compared to Gainesville, and hopefully you know what I mean by cupcake. I mean it's cakewalk. Those teams either are around the .500 level for like their wins and losses, or they're below. So some of those teams are slightly above par. Some of them are below par. They're just not good. And for Gainesville to be put in that region kind of shows you what's going on. There's some sort of, in my opinion, from what I've seen, there's always been corruption. Even at college football, NFL, you see it with NBA, recent just headlines about groups of rich guys, wealthy people just betting on games, and you see that these games are getting, so far through investigations, they found out that these games are getting called, NBA games by the way, they're getting called based off of higher bets. And I don't know if players are involved in it. I'd hope not. I mean, it is your profession to be a professional athlete, and that'd be crazy if you're betting on your own team to lose. It's like you might as well just intentionally miss a free throw just so you can make the parlay. But back on topic. So there's corruption at every level of athletics. Whether you believe that or not, it is true. So you have Gainesville playing no competition, absolutely no competition, and their coach, I've never heard much about the guy. I don't know. I forgot what his name is. It's like Nib. It's something Nib. I forgot. I can search it up. By the way, Perplexity is an awesome use of AI when it comes to sports, especially if you're on the go. I love using AI. It's one of my favorite things to use ever. It is one of the greatest human innovations. And most people will say, oh, AI is going to take over the world. AI stealing your information. That's a bunch of BS. Whether they are or aren't, I'm not that important enough for them to really do anything with. So I'm not worried about it at all. Most of the stuff I search up are sports related, politics related. And with Perplexity, I'm almost replaced it. It's like my search engine now on my iPhone and on my Mac. That's all I really go to when I need to search something up. So let's give it a go. Let's see. Gainesville High School. Sorry if this is going to be a quiet pause. I got to search this up. New region. GHSA. Let's see if it can give me statistics on these other teams as well. probably hear my typing. Alright, so Gainesville High School in region. Statistics on other teams in region. So, okay, I did miss a few teams. So, besides from Gainesville, I listed Appalachia, Cedar Shoals, Clark Central is one of them. I probably forgot to mention. Clark Central, Habersham Central, Jackson County, Loganville, Mountain View, and then Walnut Grove. So, Gainesville was 10-2, mind you. This is as of last season, 2023-2024 season. Appalachia went 4-6, missed 2024 playoff. Cedar Shoals was a first round exit. Clark Central second round exit. Habersham went 5-5, missed playoffs. Jackson County second round exit. They went 8-3. Loganville first round exit. Mountain View first round exit. Walnut Grove first round exit. Mind you, teams such as Flowery Branch have beat Loganville. They've beat Walnut Grove. They've beat Habersham, Clark Central, Cedar Shoals, Appalachia in past years. So for Gainesville to be playing these teams, it's the stupidest thing ever. So of course Gainesville's going to have some sort of advantage over these teams. And Gainesville's far too big of a school to be placed here anyways. And I think the way GHSA has done classifications in recent seasons, it used to just be 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, and 7A, right? No pun intended. If you know, you know. So you used to have you used to have 7 classifications. Now you have 6, and then 1A is divided into 2. So you have like class 1A A or class 1A B, something like that. So you have 2 1As. It used to just be 1, and then teams that were supposed to be 2A would be in 2A, but now they can be 1A. There's just 2 different classifications. So it's almost like as if you're counting 0 to 10. Usually you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it's like you're going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, if you get what I'm saying. And to be honest, I don't think it's a smart decision, because now you have to put teams like Buford at 6A. Not every school is supposed to be in 6A. Some schools are far too big to be 6A. They need to be 7A. And the teams that need to be in 6A can fluctuate 5 to 6A based off of population of the schools. And I also believe that certain schools count out of district students as 2 to 3 people. For example, if I'm zoned for, let's say, Buford High School, but I attend West Hall High School, I might show up as 2-3 people for West Hall High School instead of just myself as one person. As opposed to if I just went to Buford High School, I just count as one person, but they count it differently based off of district or non-district. So people who attend schools out of their district, they count as 3 people or 2 people, if I'm correct. Which I can see why they might do that, but I think it is stupid. Also, with the opening of a lot of new high schools, I think Jackson County, maybe it is Jackson County or North Oconee, I believe Jackson County, there's going to be a high school being built soon, I believe, Houston High School, or if that's what it is, I could be wrong, but so I've heard from other people. They're opening a new high school. Now, obviously, I agree, Jackson County is a huge high school, but I don't think that's a bad idea. That's not bad, being a huge high school. You just simply need to be in the classification that you need to be in. Now, if it's to the point where they need a new high school, I see that, but you see problems like that even when Cherokee Bluff opened. Cherokee Bluff and Flowery Branch split. Now, they didn't become 2 different schools. Flowery Branch stayed Flowery Branch. Cherokee Bluff just simply opened as a new school, but they took a large number and divided the people that went to Flowery Branch and now the new Cherokee Bluff years ago, which caused huge problems because the schools are only just a few miles apart. And obviously, yes, Flowery Branch, the Flowery Branch's Hall County area is growing, but not to the extent where you need 2 completely new high schools. In previous years, Cherokee Bluff's classrooms weren't even completely filled. So that is just a piece of my mind on that. And then Flowery Branch was kind of shafted. Now Flowery Branch has been on the uprise. They've arguably had a better season this year as opposed to the previous years. Although Flower Branch has been a first round exit quite a few times now for the past few years, but they were able to host a home playoff game. Which, if you don't know what it takes to host a home playoff game, that is impressive. That's not something that every team can say they've done every season. Some teams have to travel all the way to South Georgia, so you have that for Flower Branch community. North Hall, I know they're going to a second round playoff game. They're playing LaGrange. That's going to be a great game to watch. Now, I believe LaGrange is favored. They are a South Georgia team. They have been they used to be very dominant in the early 2000s, and they still are. They're still a great team. Last year, I believe they lost to Jefferson in the semifinals, but that was a controversial call. They made, I believe, LaGrange threw a touchdown pass in the end, but it was called out of bounds in the end zone, even though the player had full possession. I'm not a ref, whether I was or not. Who am I to say? I'm just someone watching from the distance. But, I mean, you can replay the tapes, and you'll see it. I mean, the guy caught it, and it was a touchdown in my opinion. I believe LaGrange should have played last year in the state championship, but they were kind of cheated out by Jefferson. Last year's state championships, they were pretty good. One of my favorite games was between North Oconee and Marist. Now, Marist, they're probably one of my favorite teams to watch. They have an amazing offense. They still run a traditional triple option. So does St. Pius. Those schools, I love watching them play on Friday nights. They're amazing to watch. A lot of those programs are very traditional, which is great. They stick to the tradition. They stick to what works for them, and that's something I've always noticed about teams that run an option or a more traditional offense, such as a wing T. They don't just implement it for a season or two and then take it out. Those are teams that have been running it for decades. North Hall used to run it for decades. Now, with their new coach, they run a spread as of a few seasons ago. But for a long time, North Hall ran a wing T or a wishbone, or they ran some sort of option. And now I know Chastity is running a wing T. Flower Branch ran a wing T as of last year. This year, they completely new coaching staff. Which they're great. I have met them in person. They're great coaches, great staff, and then as of that, a lot of teams that have run options, you need to do it for years to get good at it. Now, I know Madison County's ran an option for a long time now. They run a flexbone, great team, tough team to play this year. Quite a few teams had trouble playing them, and those guys come out for blood. I mean, they're no joke. They're not a team to just be playing around with. They used to be kind of just a team you could just walk over like a doormat, But now they're getting real good. So that's that. I believe I'm at the 18-minute mark, so I'd love to make this a longer episode. Not that I really talked about much. I kind of just complained about Gainesville and went off about all sorts of things. Now, I will try to make more episodes a little more organized in what I'm talking about. But for the most part, this was just something to kind of put on. I really needed to just get one episode out. I will make more episodes in the future. I believe I want to just establish 4 to 5 episodes to start out with. And then after that, I want to see what I want to talk about, what kind of is the popular opinion based off of the people who might listen to this. So you'll see definitely a change, hopefully soon. Now even though I haven't posted anything yet, I've gotten better at this as in comparison to 5 days ago. Reason being, it does, things you enjoy, they do take practice regardless, whether you're good at them or not. It would be different if I had a guest on here, and that's something that I will say. I'm not going to have a guest on here for a while because I really want to get good at doing this on my own first and kind of establishing my own identity for the podcast. So that's that. It's set in stone. I'm not changing that. And I'm just doing that for the greater good of this podcast and the longevity of it. So this is going to be a great thing to start, great thing for me to do. It's always something I've enjoyed and wanted to do. Now, this isn't going to be as funny as like Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz. You know, I love that. I love their podcasts. They're amazing, especially when Joey Diaz talks about that moon bar. You know, he's like, there's something called a moon bar. It's $10. They say it's 250 milligrams, but they're lying to you. You know, stuff like that's always funny. It always cracks me up. So hopefully I can get you guys to laugh in episodes to come in the future. So that's that. Thank you guys for hopefully listening to this if you do. And this marks the first ever episode for Little D Big Opinions. Like I said, I'm the host, Daniel, and I will be the host forever. This is my podcast, Little D Big Opinions. See you guys later.